Joining us right now is the former acting U.S. Attorney General, Matt Whitaker. Matt, good to see you. Good morning to you. Your reaction to what you've just heard.
Good morning. Yeah, well, this is playing out all across our southern border. You know, this happens to be in Arizona. You know, we've seen the images all over the Texas border. But what happens in these smuggling operations is they put the people and take the resources of Border Patrol to process these hundreds of people that are encountered at the border and filing mostly bogus asylum claims. And then they use another place along the border to bring in the illicit drugs and high value things through the southern border. And so this is, until we get control of the, illegal people coming into our border, whether that's through actually using the tools at the disposal or empowering Border Patrol to do their job, we're going to continue just to see this play out. And with the, expiration of Title 42, it's only going to get worse.
Well, these dangerous drug cartels are making billions of dollars on human smuggling, and they're also using high tech to deliver drugs. I'm told that they use drones to drop fentanyl in various places in Arizona and Texas, and then later go pick it up so that they can distribute it. Attorneys general from 19 states are pretty much pleading with the Supreme Court to allow Title 42 to continue. They want the ongoing border crisis to stop. Your reaction?
Yeah, I know when John Roberts issued that stay that there was some hope, which I don't think we should put a lot of stock in that. You know, the Supreme Court, obviously with a high-profile policy like this, is going to want to take a look at if there's a legal issue that they can consider. But I think ultimately, the discretion in Title 42 makes it very difficult for the Supreme Court to change the policy decision of the Biden administration. And this is ultimately what needs to be remembered, is that the Biden administration wants to eliminate Title 42. It's the only remaining tool that Border Patrol has to exclude people from coming into our country. And I don't think the Supreme Court's going to save the Biden administration from itself.
Matt, it's Dagan McDowell. What about the idea that's been reported that, say, immigrants from places like Cuba will just be allowed to fly into the United States temporarily? And how is that any different? Because you know that they'll never leave once they get here.
Right. Yeah, Dagan, that's a good point. If you think about what this policy is proposed, that they could file an asylum claim in their home country and then fly to this country and await the now 6 years that it takes to adjudicate those asylum claims. And again, most of them are bogus, less than half from any country. And in fact, some countries, only 5% of all asylum claims are granted. What it does is it takes these pictures that we're seeing in Eagle Pass and other places, and it gets them off of TV. Because that's all the Biden administration wants, is they want to put their current open borders policy, they want to get it off TV. They don't want it playing out like it has been over the last many months. And this way of filing these asylum claims offshore and then flying to our country, awaiting the appeal, the pending case, is just another way to avoid these border lines. But it's a terrible policy idea. What they should do is they should file an asylum claim and then stay in their home country until it can be adjudicated.
Well, Matt, we got to switch gears and look at the FBI, get your take on all of this. By the way, in the omnibus bill, there's $11 billion earmarked for the FBI. For a new headquarters and updating. The FBI is finally responding to the explosive Twitter files and what Elon Musk has exposed. The FBI claims they did not send Twitter any, quote, specific instructions or details regarding the Hunter Biden laptop story, and that, quote, it is unfortunate that conspiracy theorists and others are feeding the American public misinformation with the sole purpose of attempting to discredit the agency. Matt, what is the conspiracy theory here? We're seeing it in black and white, where the FBI tells Twitter, these are the accounts that you need to censor, shut down, and Twitter comes back and says, handled. So they're telling them to censor truth and amplify lies. We also now know, we learned this week, that the FBI actually paid Twitter. And the FBI is saying that they confirmed that Twitter is not the only social media company which was paid. The quote here, we don't just reimburse Twitter.
Yeah, this is a really concerning statement out of the FBI, and they don't, while not addressing any of the specific allegations, they do pretty much confirm that they have this cozy relationship with all social media platforms. They're clearly monitoring social media. The DHS is doing the same thing. You know, they tried to prop up a disinformation board that didn't go well, but they're still functionally doing these types of things. And you know, it really, it not only does it censor free speech and use outside, you know, businesses to take Americans' voices out of the conversation. I think ultimately, you know, the FBI just demonstrates in this statement just how out of touch they are with the not only the mood of the country, but also just their place, you know, in society. Because ultimately, the FBI can't be the arbiter of speech, and that's where this was. It's, you know, it's how they had this, you know, almost 80 people monitoring social media platforms and lobbying in what should be taken down and what should be, you know, not. And I think that's where this is going. This is not a matter of conspiracy theories. This is a matter of the FBI was caught with their hand in the cookie jar, and now they're trying to, you know, explain it to the American people. I don't think there is a good explanation for them.
Yeah, I mean, they were caught in 2016, 17, 18 for pursuing the Russia collusion lie. We all waited for the subpoenas to come. Nothing happened. Now we have to rely on the Republicans to protect free speech and the First Amendment and hold the FBI to account. These Republicans, the ones who want to send the FBI $11 billion right now in the omnibus. So we'll watch that in 23. Matt, thanks very much for weighing in on all of that.